makikita po siya again sa comment section dyan sa Facebook and sa chat box dito sa Google Meet. Kaya ang form po ay hindi natatanggap ng mga respondents 15 minutes after mag-start po ng discussion ng speaker. Ang attendance form po at ang evaluation form po ay ang pagbabasahan namin sa pagsisend ng e-certificate 2 to 3 days po before nyo ma-receive ang inyong e-certificate na send namin through your emails na nilagay niyo po sa inyong Google form. Again, ang attendance form po ay makikita sa comment section and sa chat box dito po sa Google Meet. So, let's proceed na guys sa pag-introduce ng ating first speaker. Our first speaker is currently a junior high school teacher at San Beda College of Alabang. She graduated with BSIE or Bachelor of Science in Industrial Education, major in Computer Education, a former president of Future Educators Organization year 2017 at PUP Cavite, Cavite Alumni Batch of 2019, Outstanding Research Awardee, a Google Certified Educator. Please let us all welcome Miss April Jewel Pascual.
All her a virtual round of applause, everyone.
Yes. Let's go.
Okay, so am I audible?
Yes, po, ma'am.
So okay, thank you so much. So yeah, is it okay if I share my screen?
Yes, po, ma'am. The floor is now yours, po, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, again, by the way, before I share my screen, good afternoon, everyone. So again, I am Jewel. You can call me Jewel, ha? Dun sa tatlong names na prinash kanina sa screen ko, I prefer that you call me Jewel, okay? So, wait. Okay, so Laline asked me to be a guest speaker and talk about computer programming. Then Sir Arnold also emailed me po with regards the theme and the topic. So, ayun. In case you have questions or clarifications, feel free to ask using the chat box. Okay po. Then, also, if I have questions or clarifications po, you should participate kasi ayoko din ng ako lang ng ako. Okay? So, ayun. Kung meron akong itatanong, I hope you participate. Yeah. Okay, so let's start. So this is all about introduction to programming. I just get some glimpse of each, yung contents, codes, the flowchart itself, yun, para ma-discuss siya within the 45 minutes po. So, when you hear the word program, or once na nag-flash sa screen nyo ngayon, ano yung pumasok sa isip niyo? You can use the comment section. I just want to check lang. Kapag nakakarinig kayo ng program, ng salitang program, I know this is not the first time naman, right, that you encounter the word program. So what is the first thing that comes into your mind when you hear the word program or when you saw a word program? Okay, so technology, application. How about the others? Coding. Thank you so much sa mga sumasagot. Okay, coding, system that accomplish a task. Very good. Computing, innovation. Okay, so how about the others po? Microsoft Information Technology. Okay, thank you so much. Very good. So that's all about program, of course. So kaya nga nyo naiisip na naiisip yung mga salita na kapag naririnig nyo yung program or nababasa nyo yung program. Kasi, of course, it is related sa program. Okay, so as a programmer, our job is what happened? Wait lang, please. Okay, Ulitin ka. As a programmer po, our job is to find a solution for our particular problem, right? So yun yung reason kung ba't tayo gumagawa ng program. For example, yung before, naghahanap yung mga tao ng way on how to what do you call this one? On how to insert data or how to create a document po from the typewriter, di ba? Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng MS Word ngayon, Google Docs. So yun, from a problem, naggagawa tayo ng solusyon. So yun yung reason kung bakit tayo nagpo-program. Okay po. So I'll stop the sharing. I have here a video. Okay. So this video, this video is from the Big Bang Theory. So, sino dito yung mga Sheldon fanatics? Okay. So, I watched some of the episode from the Big Bang Theory. Okay. So, wait lang. Medyo naglalaka yung system ko. Okay. So, this from the Big Bang Theory. I think this is from season 2. I can't remember kung anong episode. Pero this is about the algorithm of friendship. So kung Sheldon fanatics ka, probably napanood mo na to. So pwede, kung pwedeng first time mo siya mapanood. So yeah, let's watch this video.
You're just in time. I believe I've isolated the algorithm from making
Can you hear
friends.
the sound or no?
Sheldon, there is no algorithm for making friends.
Okay,
Hear
thank
him
you.
out. If he's really onto something, we could open a booth at Comic-Con, make a fortune.
See, my initial approach to Kripke had the same deficiencies as those that plagued Stu the cockatoo when he was new at the zoo.
Stu the cockatoo? Yes, he's new at the zoo.
It's a terrific book. I've distilled its essence into a simple flowchart that will guide me through the process.
Have you thought about putting him in a crate while you're out of the apartment?
Hello, Kripke. Yeah, Sheldon Cooper here. It occurred to me that you hadn't returned any of my calls because I hadn't offered any concrete suggestions for pursuing our friendship. Yet perhaps the two of us might share a meal together. Yeah, I see. Well, then perhaps you'd have time for a hot beverage. Popular choices include tea, coffee, cocoa. I see. No, wait, don't hang up yet. But what about a recreational activity? I bet we share some common interests. You tell me an interest of yours. Really? On actual horses? Tell me another interest of yours. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I have no desire to get in the water till I absolutely have to. Tell me another interest of yours.
Uh-oh, he's stuck in an infinite loop.
I can fix it.
It's interesting, but isn't ventriloquism by definition a solo activity? Yeah. Wait, tell me another interest of yours. Is there any chance you like monkeys? Yeah, what is wrong with you? Everybody likes monkeys. Hang on, Kripke. A loop counter and an escape to the least objectionable activity. Howard, that's brilliant. I'm surprised you saw that. All right, Kripke, that last interest strikes me as the least objectionable, and I would like to propose that we do that together. Tomorrow. Yes, I'll pay. All right, goodbye. All right.
Okay, so based on that video, what is the problem of Sheldon? I hope na pinanood niyo siya kasi cute naman yung video. So, ano yung problema ni Sheldon? He can't make friends. Am I right? So, that's the reason why he created a flowchart. Okay. So, flowchart actually is an algorithm. Okay. So, before we create a program po, or before typing out a program, programmer first come up with an algorithm or a list of step-by-step procedure that will be used in order for us to code. Okay, so we can create a pseudocode or a flowchart. Pag flowchart, that is a graphical representation. Kagaya nung ginawa kanina na example ni Sheldon. Yung meron doon, may mga asks, nagtatanong siya. So, he is asking for data then doon sa user. Parang yung kausap niya sa phone, sa script key, yun yung nagiging user. Okay? Tapos nagtatanong siya ng question, kaya merong flow. Okay po? So, yun yung tinatawag nating flowchart. Mhm. Okay. So, from there, doon sa flowchart na pinanood nyo kanina, meron na dong short conditional statement na tinatawag natin. A very common conditional statement na ginagamit natin when it comes to programming. Okay? So, that conditional statement is called if-then-else format or if-then-else conditional statement. So, it run a chunk of code only when a certain condition is met. As you can see there, nagtatanong si Sheldon, do you like coffee? Or ano ba yung mga question na doon? Basta nagtatanong siya on a particular interest ng kausap niya. Then, kapag may sumagot ng no or sumagot ng yes, meron ding certain condition or certain statement na nangyayari. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng if-then-else format. Ibig sabihin, if a specific thing happens, then this other thing will happen. Or else, a different thing will happen. So, meaning to say, if you met a certain condition, okay, if you met a certain condition, then there will be a statement na gagawin niya kapag true. Okay? Always remember na kapag if-then-else statement, ang hinahanap niyang una ay yung true dun sa binigay mong condition. If it meets the certain condition, then kapag nag-true siya, gagawin niya yung first statement. Kung hindi naman, kasi hindi naman laging tama, di ba? Minsan mali din, kailangan nating aminin, the joke lang. So, kapag mali naman ang nangyayari, pupunta siya dun sa second, which is the else. Okay? So, yun yung reason ko bakit may if-then-else statement. So, let's continue. For example, yan, kanina daw yung statement ko. If, ito, nakita niyo ba? So, ayan. Meron dito yung, would you like to share a meal? Yan yung question kanina, di ba? So, nanghihingi siya ng data from that question. Would you like to share a meal? So, of course, yung kausap niya sasagot yan. It's either yes or no. If, sa statement, if someone agrees to share a meal with me or with Sheldon, then, anong gagawin niya? According dito, kapag nakakuha siya ng response na yes, sasabihin niya, let's dine together. Okay? So, kakain sila sa labas. How about naman kapag no? Of course, kapag no, meron siyang certain condition pa rin, or meron siyang, certain statement na mangyayari, or meron pa rin siyang itatanong. So, doon niya naman itatanong, gusto mo naman ba ng hot beverages? Do you want some hot beverage naman? Tapos, continue, di ba? Nakita niyo naman kanina, dire-diretso yung flow ng algorithm na ginawa ni Sheldon. Hanggang mas na nga lang siya sa loop eh. Okay, naka-loop siya ng paulit-ulit since ayaw talaga sa kanya nung kausap niya, nagnano. So, doon pumasok yung kaibigan niya, tapos nagkaroon ng loop counter. Okay, parang kapag na-meet niya na 3 beses nag-no na, dapat itigil na. Parang ganun yung binigay na solusyon sa kanya ng kaibigan niya. So, let's go back here. So, from if someone agrees to share a meal with me, then we will dine together, else I will ask if they want a hot beverages. So this is your algorithm. This is an English algorithm. Paano siya if we transfer it to C++ code? By the way, I will use a programming language that is C++ because C++ is one of the basic and common language. Okay? So, kahit basic and common language siya, nakakagawa pa din siya ng iba't ibang programs. Okay, nakaka-develop pa rin siya ng game. Actually, if you are familiar of Valorant, sige nga, sino dito yung mga naglalaro ng Valorant? Okay, parang yung ibang umite. Or may mga nag-raise ng hand. Okay, thank you so much. So, those na naglalaro ng Valorant, yung may certain, isa sa mga programming language na ginamit din nila in order to develop the Valorant is C++. Okay? So, kahit ganun siya ka-basic, nakakagawa siya ng magandang laro, right? So, yeah. Going back here sa presentation natin, so yan, meron tayong mga header na nilalagay. So this is the basic, yung include IO stream. This is for the input-output stream. Include string. This is for the string variable. Use namespace std. Then this is the whole program actually. Int main. So you describe the variable first. So ano ba yung variable natin? Of course, dahil 2 and more characters siya, is considered as string. Okay? So, string answer. Si answer yung magiging variable natin. So, anong cout niya? Cout, would you like to share a meal? So, yun yung unang lalabas dun sa program natin. Tapos, manghihingi siya ng sagot. So, see in, answer. Yung answer, since input, manggagaling yan sa user. Ano ba yung sinagot ni user? Is it yes or no? If yes, if the answer is equals to yes, then it will see out, let's dine together. So, ang lalabas sa program natin, let's dine together. So, else, see out naman, do you want to have some beverages? Tapos return 0. Actually, meron pa yung mga karugtong. Okay, pinutol ko lang. Yan lang yung kinuha ko. Yung blinks lang ng C++ ko. Para makita ninyo na from the statement, or from the algorithm, from the flowchart algorithm to algorithm na English algorithm, mata-transfer talaga natin siya through a C++ code. Okay po. So, yan. Again, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina sa C++, marami tayong iba't ibang programming languages na meron na. And C++ is one of the basic and common programming language that we have. So we also have Dev C++. I remember nung second year college ako sa TUP Cavite, ang ginagamit naming programming language ay si Dev C++. Okay, so yun yung ginagamit naming programming language that is a text interface. So text siya. Pero may mga part or may mga dina-download kaming libraries para maging object-oriented yung ginagawa namin program. Aside from that, we also use Scratch programming language pagdating namin ng fourth year college. So, Scratch programming language na kami. Kay Scratch programming language naman, building blocks siya. So, kung kay Dev C++, pure na code yung nilalagay namin. Kay Scratch, medyo madali na kasi building blocks na lang siya. Kini-click and drag na lang namin yung kini-click and drag na lang namin yung, tawag dito? Yung codes. Nakikita ko yung screen ko? Yung pinapresent ko?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po, ma'am.
Sige po, thank you. Tapos, kala ko hindi kasi may nag-chat. Sige po. Yung C++ programming, Unity. I think you're familiar with the Unity naman kasi kapag naglalaro kayo ng games, yan yung mga common na lumalabas sa unahan. Unity and of course, Python. Si Python yung pinaka pillar programming language ngayon. Kasi bukod sa madali rin siyang gamitin and almost similar siya sa C++, ayun, masyadong advanced din yung ginagamit natin pagdating kay Python. Diyan, pag nating code interface, ito yung example niya. So, purely code lang siya. Yan yung nabanggit ko kanina. Tapos pag black-like interface, ito siya. As you can see, from the code interface, gumawa sila ng black-like interface. So, nag-i-improve or sumusunod tayo sa trend na meron tayo. So, nag-improve tayo from code interface, although, yung iba naman talagang code interface pa din yung ginagamit. Pero pwede na tayong gumamit ng black-like interface. So, mas madali, mas mapapadali yung buhay natin. So, ayun. So, these are the top 3 programming language. So this is according to PYTL GitHub.io, that is popularity of programming language na ginagamit sa kanila. The leading is the Python, followed by Java, then the JavaScript. Okay? So kapag dun sa programming language na meron tayo, hindi lang naman iisa yung ginagamit natin usually. Iba-iba. Okay? So combination siya. Like in Facebook, sa Facebook, kung hindi ako nagkahamali, they are using Python, JavaScript, PHP, and others. Kasi meron tayong tinatawag na front-end tsaka back-end. Okay? So may tinatawag tayong front-end and back-end when it comes to programming. So kapag, ayun, combination siya. So kapag kay Facebook, ang gamit niya ay Python, JavaScript, PHP, and other programming language. Kay YouTube naman, gumagamit siya ng Python, JavaScript, C++ then. Kay Twitter, it uses JavaScript, C++, Ruby, if you are familiar with the Ruby language. Yeah. So all these 3 websites use JavaScript because JavaScript is along with HTML and CSS, and HTML is the commonly used programming language when you are about to develop a website. Okay. So it is primarily used as the front-end language. Kapag sinabi natin front-end language, yun yung nakikita natin, yun yung nakiklik ng user. Yung back-end, those are the data. Okay, collection of data or information from the front-end. Okay, so, ayun. Ano pa? Ayan, tawag dito. I hope they had you tungkol doon sa if else kasi yun yung pinakamadaling way kung paano ko siya ma-discuss. Tapos kapag transfer natin siya sa code. So for programming, iiwan ko lang to. Always remember that we have different ways of approaching the problems in programming. Okay, some of us prefer to use the long way method. The other programmer chose to use the short form or the short way, and some created their own way in order for us to code. Okay, napapansin ko din yan kahit sa mga students ko. Di ba kapag pinapagawa naman kayo ng teachers ninyo, okay, pag pinapagawa kayo ng teachers ninyo ng program, di ba meron lang silang binibigay a program that can add 3 different numbers or a program, ano ba yung common? Yung a program that can display or output the word hello world. Ewan ko, na-try niyo pa ba yun or pinapagawa pa ba yun sa inyo? Kasi yun yung basic lagi. Yun yung first activity kapag first time mo sa programming. So yung mag-output ka ng hello world. Kahit gano'n, naiisa lang yung goal or yung objective sa pagpapagawa, iba't iba yung way ng pagpo-program ng students. Or iba't iba rin yung way ng pagpo-program ng programmers, ng normal na programmers. Ako minsan I preferred the long way kasi the long way method kasi naguguluhan ako kapag short. May times naman na mas gusto ko din yung short way method or gumagawa ako ng sarili kong way. Pero yun nga, kahit iba-iba yung method natin kung paano tayo nagpo-program, as long as your desired output work perfectly, then that's great. Okay? So, okay na yon. Iba yung saya, iba yung ligaya, di ba? I don't know kung akin lang yon, nararamdaman ko lang yan at nararamdaman lang yun ng friends ko and other classmates ko before na kapag merong pinagawa yung teacher namin, lalo na si Sir Dong, tapos nagawa namin yon, iba yung saya or yung ligaya na nakukuha namin. Kasi syempre, di ba, feeling mo, ano yung tawag dito, may nabasa akong meme sa Facebook. During the activity, naiiyak ka kasi hindi mo kaya, hindi mo alam kung paano mo siya ipaprogram. Then after naman, may mapagana ka lang na isa feeling mo sobrang programmer ka na. So, ganun talaga. Kasi nga, yun, iba-iba tayo ng way eh. Iba-iba tayo kung paano tayo nagtatransport ng data from the algorithm to the C++ language or to the language. Yan. Tapos yun din yung reason kung bakit, kung nakita nyo kanina, napalitan yung ginagamit natin or nag-evolve yung ginagamit nating programming language. So from editor lang, from write lang, nagkaroon tayo ng mga object-oriented na programming language. Kasi syempre, yung ibang tao, gumagawa din sila ng ibang way pa, para mai-apply yung mga logics nila, para makabuo sila ng mas simple at mas madali para sa lahat. Okay, so yun. Again, in programming, since this is just an introduction, please do not forget that we have different ways or approach to the problems, or we have different ways of approaching the problems in programming. So yun po. I think after pa nung isang speaker yung question and answer, right?
Yes po, ma'am. Yes po.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, that's all for my presentation. Thank you po.
Thank you, Miss April Jewel. Yes. Ang ganda ng pangalan ni ma'am.
Yun nga. So, let's proceed na po sa second speaker. So,
Pero before that, the evaluation form.
Evaluation form. Yes, I forgot.
Yeah, iko-comment yan sa ating comment section dyan sa Facebook Live natin and dito sa ating chatbox sa Google Meet. Sa lahat ng mga hindi na makapasok dito sa Google Meet, meron po kaming Facebook Live dun sa page po ng TUP Cavite. And yung attendance form po natin, sorry po, sa mga pag phone daw po ang gamit, hindi daw po makiklik, but when you are using laptop or PC, makiklik naman na daw po. And in-extend po namin ang attendance form hanggang 2:55 p.m. for topic 1. Ayan ang evaluation form po ay nasa comment section at chat box. So, let's proceed na, guys.
So, yung attendance form po ng second topic ay nasa evaluation form po ng first topic para kasi po kung nakinig po talaga kayo or nandito po talaga from the start. So, yun nga po, introduce na po natin yung second speaker for today. So, her name is Maria Odessa Ayman. She graduated BSIE Computer Education at TUP Cavite in the batch 2019. Bachelor of Science in Industrial Education, major in Computer Education. She is also a computer system servicing NC2 passer and currently a teacher at the Palm Ridge School. She is also a former USB Senator, Head Committee of Students' Rights and Welfare, year 2018 to 2019. So without further ado, let's welcome Miss Maria Odessa Ayman.
Ayan. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
So, hello, good afternoon. Yan, bigyan naman natin ng energy. Medyo kabado si Teacher Des. Sorry if I hope if you don't mind. Sanay lang kasi grade school approach si teacher. Pero you can call Teacher Des. Ayan, so dahil sabi ko kay Jewel, that's too fast. Ang bilis masyado. Di mo na pinainit yung ano namin pag-upo. But thank you for that, Jewel, no? And this time, bago naman tayo mag-proceed sa discussion ni Teacher Des, let's play a game muna para naman ma-awake-awake ang ating sarili. Actually, kailangan ko ma-awake, kinakabahan ako. But kidding aside, so let's play a game. Okay, so, wait lang ha, prepare ko lang. Itong slide ko kinakabahan.
Go, ma'am.
Thank you. So last night, I asked someone to give me at least 10 email of the participants today para naman na-prepare na ni Teacher Des yung laro. So let me share my screen. So this time, our game is called a jigsaw puzzle. And I think lahat sila ready na dito sa what do you call this one? Jamboard. And share ko lang para naman alam niyo yung meron kami. Mamaya kasi 10 lang kami doon sa Jamboard eh. Tapos hindi niyo alam yung ginagawa namin. So, this one. So, here's the game. It's called the Jigsaw Puzzle. So, they're already here.
Excuse me
So,
po,
we
ma'am.
are 11 here. So, here's the mechanics. Grade 3. I mean, 5 participants, no? Wait lang. Ako pa ba yung mag-aano? Sige, ako na magsasabi kung sino yung 5 na magsisira nung ayos nung puzzle pieces, and then meron ding 5 na mag-aayos. Clear? Sige. Let's have first Aliyah, Carl, Carlos, sino pa? Dayan, and John Daniel. So, kayo yung magsisira or gugulo ng puzzle pieces. And then, sina Liberio, Marcus, Paul, Rob, and Victor, kayo naman po yung mag-aayos ng puzzle pieces na gagawin nila. Okay? So, you're just going to click this one, no? Yung arrow. You're not going to use the pen so that you can drag the puzzle pieces. Okay, ready? Ready, set, go. You may now locate or disarrange nyo muna yung puzzle pieces. Ayan. Kaway-kaway tayo sa mga nanonood sa FB Live. Sige, note lang po muna kayo. Sorry, we only have limited time para makapag-participate. So, there, I think that's enough. Enough na ba para sa inyo yan? Masyado namang mahirap. Baka matapos na yung oras natin, hindi pa nila mabuo yan. Ready? Ay, sige, pag-iwahiwalayin nyo para mahaba-haba, malayo-layo yung Hala, may nakikita ako, tinatago niya yung puzzle pieces dun sa likod ng baboy. Ang cute kaya, di ba? Nagigitara yung baboy. Okay, I think that's enough. Oh, enough na masyado naman kayong pahirap. Baka maubos yung time natin dyan. Ayan, thank you for those 5 participants na nagulo ng puzzle pieces. So this time, I want you to take your stand. Oh, wow. Take your stand na po. Go to the drum board. Yan, drag na po kayo dun sa 5 na tinawag ko to arrange again the puzzle pieces. You may now start. Go.
Baka mahirapan naman sila dyan, ma.
Tagal, ang hirap naman ng paggugulo nyo. Ayan na, nagbubuo na sila actually. Wow, bilis ah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's the favorite term ng mga students ko eh. Pag madali lang yung activity. Teacher, that's too easy. Eh, para sa inyo ang tagal. Okay, that's all for today. I hope you've learned how to assemble and disassemble the... Kaya today, guys.
Grabe, ang tagal naman
Uy, pressure sila, wala. Wala ako nilagay na time. Ipag-pray ko kayo for 1 week. Okay? So that's the price for all the participants who joined this a little bit motivation na ma-relate naman natin sa discussion natin today. So again, before we start, I want to introduce myself. I am Maria Odessa M. Iman. So you can call me Teacher Des. And kunyari nasa classroom lang tayo para medyo chill lang si Teacher Des. And then now, let me share my screen. Ayaw umalis ng baboy. Ba't ganun? Wait. Okay, so there. Thank you for those who helped me to play the game. So this time, let me share my screen. And let me share my screen. Alam, mamaya baka may magsabi sa akin, Teacher Des, kaya today? Wait lang po. Ayan, kaya naman today, class. Okay, so today, I'll discuss about introduction to computer hardware assembly and disassembly. So, before that, kanina na-alarm ako kasi meron pa tayong quotation and title for your program, right? That it says here, current trends and issues on computer and information technology. So, how can I relate my topic for today to current trends and issues? Sabi ko, Then I come up to this kind of idea that neatness and cleanliness will never go out of trend, right? That's why we have here assemble and disassemble of system unit, because we tend to do this because we need to keep in mind that we need to clean and update and check our system unit, right? And how about if you want to upgrade or update the components of your system unit? So assembly and disassembly of system unit is regular. It's a must. Dapat alam nyo kung paano mag-assemble o mag-disassemble ng system unit para naman kayo makago kayo sa thread. Mamaya yung processor nyo, ano pa pala yan, Pentium 4, lagi yarn. Kaya today, mamaya, yung classmates nyo nandun na sa classroom, ikaw naglo-loading pa din yung ano mo, kasi sa sobrang bagal. So, that's how you connect our discussion today to current trends and issue on computer and information technology. So before we go to the step-by-step sa pag-assemble and disassemble ng system unit, let me share my experience way back in my practice teaching. Sorry. So way back in my practice teaching, and medyo na-excite lang ako i-share kasi way back in my practice teaching po last 2019 ata. Ayan, nag-practice teaching si Teacher Des sa Dr. Jose Pires sa senior high school. So, ayan, meron kaming activity dyan na tinatawag natin na kung saan i-discuss din natin later. Ang tawag namin sa activity na yan ay baklas kabit. Sasabihin nila, Ma'am, kailan kami magbabaklas kabit? So that's my students dun sa Dr. Jose Pires. So, syempre, early in the morning, our class started in 6 a.m. in the morning. So si Teacher Des, dapat papasok ko na maaga kasi i-ready yung computer lab, i-ready mo yung computers, and take note of this. Alam nyo ba, nung practice teaching practice teaching ko, ang ginagamit nila na system unit is working, as in working. So, ibig sabihin, kasi disclaimer lang, no, later may i-demo ko naman sa inyo yung pagbabaklas kabit or assemble, disassemble ng system unit. Pero disclaimer lang, this one is not working na. Sorry if I can't be able to show you the working system unit, but our topic is how we assemble and disassemble the system unit. So, going back to my sharing time, sharing time, chika time, mahilig sa TikTok dyan, kaway-kaway. Story time! So, ayun na nga. Nasabihin nila, Ma'am, kailan tayo magbabaklas kabit? So, as you can see here in the picture, ala, nakakamiss yung face-to-face, no? Gawin niyo yan today na may pandemic. Gagano na yung teacher, social distancing, do it on your own. Yeah. So, si Teacher Des, nung nagpa-practice teaching pala ako, I see to it na pag nagbabaklas kabit sila, may partners sila. Yung isa magbabaklas, yung isa magkakabit. And then vice versa sila. Okay, so here po, ang kwento dyan ni Teacher Des, may pressure kasi akong nilagay dyan. Sabi ko sa kanila, pag hindi nila napagana yan, it's either pipilitin nilang mapagana or papalitan nila ng bago yung system unit. Kasi nga working yung system unit eh. So, ayun yung pressure sa kanila. And at the same time, meron kaming time pressure sa pagbabaklas kabit. Ayun yung binigay ko na parang, kumbaga, rubrics. Kumbaga, pag nagbibigay ka ng practical, di ba may rubrics? So that's my rubrics. You need to meet that time. You need to check kung mag-work talaga yung system unit mo. So, this time, na-realize ko, mali pala yung binigay kong rubrics or mali pala yung binigay kong pamantayan sa kanila way back in my practice teaching. Kasi realize ko, may mga bagay tayo, may mga bagay na kaya nating gawin ng madalian. Tama? For example, maligo, ang lamig, kaya mong gawin nyo ng madalian. Walang pressure, right? But here, in assembling and disassembling system unit, you can't put some pressure on someone. Or for example, the technician itself. Kasi most of the time sila ang magagawa niyan. And at the same time, you. Sooner technician, soon engineers. So, kapag pala nag-assemble, disassemble, you don't have to put pressure because you need to keep in mind that you need to be safe. Safety first. Especially now, syempre si Teacher Des, hindi ko naman sinaksak muna itong system unit ko tapos pinag-iwa-hiwalay ko, no? Hindi naman. Inisip ko din yung safety ni Teacher Des. So, ayun na nga. So, nagkamali ako dun sa binigay kong pamantayan or way to assemble and disassemble. And minsan talaga sa life natin, may mga pagkakamali and marirealize din natin yan at the end of the time, at the end of the day. So, ayun ang gusto kong ituro sa inyo na may mga sa pagtuturo ni Teacher Des, ayun yung na-realize ko. So this time, we will take time. Isisis natin yung time natin sa pagbabaklas kabit. So kahit wala kayong hawak mismo na gamit dyan sa end ninyo, I hope you listen to Teacher Des. Okay po ba yun? Can you give Teacher Des a thumbs up? Yes. Ay, nandiyan pa ba kayo? Kaway-kaway. Ayan. So let's start here first with the safety reminders. I only have 2 kasi alam ko naman na walang gusto dito na masaktan, tama? Wala namang gusto dito na masaktan sila. So lagi yung iniisip na mag-ingat. Pero ba dito ang taong gusto masaktan? Di ba wala naman? So that's why I only prepared 2 safety reminders. The first one is you need to take off the metal objects in your arms. Ayan. So, nag-prepare ako noon. May pa-quote pa si Teacher Des. And I removed my watch kasi po mamaya magbabaklas kabi tayo or mag-a-assemble, disassemble tayo. And the second reminder is, you need to handle all parts with care. And kung paano mo iniingatan ng iyong sarili, ingatan mo din yung mga components and parts ng system unit, especially kung kayo na yung nasa position ng pag-a-assemble and disassemble. Paano kaya, nasa online class tayo, do you have, I think merong mga barangay, may mga barangay na may nagdo-donate ng mga system unit na hindi na ginagamit. Try to check. Kasi ako dati, na nagpa-practice teaching ako, parang kailangan ko ng mga system unit. Tapos, nag-check ako sa mga barangay. Meron silang mga pinamimigay, ganun. Or kaya para ma-practice nyo din and makita nyo yung fulfillment pag nagawa ninyo. Okay po? Sige, let's start. Sige. Wait lang ha. Mag-off lang ako ng camera. Hindi nyo na ako makikita. This will be the answer. Kasi makikita nyo na yung system unit. So, magbabay na kayo sa maganda kong mukha. Charot. So, kidding aside, pinapa-chill ko lang kasi medyo, kakahiya naman. So, I'll turn off my camera. Then, pagbalik ko, system unit na po ang katapat ninyo. Thank you. Wait lang po. Uy, inaabangan. Wait lang po. Okay guys, huwag kayong magugulat Hindi kami magkamukha, okay? So, ayan. There. Hindi ko naman makikita. So, nakita nyo ba? So, I have here, ayan. Bare na siya. So, case na lang siya. So, the first step is, you need to open the case. Siyempre, paano kayo mag-ano? So, as you can see here, open na siya. So, disclaimer lang po ulit. My system unit here is not working na po. Okay? So, may mga pet kasi ako dito sa bahay. Parang nag-enjoy silang ngat-ngatin. So, there. Excuse my connectors po na medyo putol na. So, let's have the first step. We need to open the case. So, first, I want you to meet my friends. I have a lot of friends here. So, first one, if you're going to assemble and disassemble the system unit, you need to take care of your friends. Sila yung magiging kakampi mo pagdating ng panahon. Charot. Sila yung mga kailangan mo later po, or especially if you're going to do the assemble and disassemble of your system unit. So, I have here anti-static grease trap. Okay. Ito po siya. You're just going to do, pag wala po kayong ganito, pero dapat meron po kasi it help you to yung electric charge kasi hindi natin alam kung kahit hindi na po working ang ating system unit, we need to stay safe, right? So we need to have the anti-static grease trap, the gloves, and then the screw that we're going to use later. Okay po, and at the same time, before you start, pwede nyo i-rub yung heads ninyo and then touch it to the unpainted parts of the system unit. For example, here, hindi siya painted, right? So, pwede nyo siyang i-touch dyan. Oh my God. Touch nyo siya sa metal parts. Then, let's start. I-clip nyo lang po siya sa kahit sa metal parts. So, for example, here. So, let's start. So, as you can see, I already have here an open case. And then let me wear my gloves. Sabihin nyo dyan, baka bumubulong kayo dyan, sasabihin ninyo, hindi mo kasi teacher Des, panggap, hindi naman talaga ginagawa yan. Ang hirap kaya may gloves kapag nag-assemble, disassemble. Pero we need to keep in mind na, kasi diba, wala namang taong gustong masaktan. So, kailangan natin mag-follow. So, we need to, ang awkward yung ano ko, gloves. Kaway-kaway. Okay, so let's start. The first step is, open the case. have different variety of form of factors. I mean, there's a different size, shape of the system unit. May iba't ibang klase kasi ng system unit. Eh. So here, parang familiar naman kayo sa structure or sa size ng system unit. So there's a different way then to open the case. It might be open the case cover, can be removed as a top siya or nasa side, or kaya naman kailangan.
Ma'am, kailan tayo magbabaklas ka ba? So as you can see here in the
Okay, but here, we already have an open system unit, and then the second one is, we need to install the power supply. Here, siya have an open system unit, and then the second here's my, parang ako nag-vlog. Hi guys! Here's the parts of the system unit. So the power supply, so that's the second step that you're going to do. You need to install the power supply unit. So that's the second step that you're going to do. You need to install. When installing a power supply class, make sure that all the screws are used and that they are properly tightened. Make sure that all the screws are used. These are the power supply installation. So first, insert the power supply in the case. So from here po tayo, insert the power supply in the case. So, from here po tayo, insert the power supply. Sure, that's kaya today. So, kaya po today. So, we already done. Inserting the power supply in the case. And then, kaya po today. So, we already done. Align the power supply with the case and the case. As you can see here, ito po yung holes ng ating case. Ito yung case, yung holes niya, and at the same time, ayun naman yung holes mo para sa case. So, make sure na magkakatapat sila, and then let's get, ayun naman yung holes mo para sa case. Make sure na magkakatapat sila, holes ng ating case. Ito yung case, yung holes niya. Nag-remove lang ako ng nag-remove lang po ako ng glove kasi medyo, so here. Don't worry, the gloves must use especially when you are installing the CPU. Minsan, no, nag-misconceptualize natin kapag sinasabi nila, kano yung CPU mo, tapos ang tinutukoy nila yung system unit. I hope no, ngayon pa lang, matutunan na natin. Ang tawag po dito, system unit. Yung CPU, yun po yung isang component na nasa loob ng system unit. Mamaya sabihin, mama, pinatay yung CPU. Pinapindutan naman yung power ng system unit. So there, so make sure that you tighten the lead. Nakikita niyo po ba?
Yes po, ma'am.
Nakikita niyo po? You need to tighten it up. Plus, this one is system unit, not CPU. Later, ipapakita ko sa inyo kung ano itsura ng CPU. There, I'm done with installing the power supply unit in your system unit. Next, what's the next step? The next step is attach the components to the motherboard and install the motherboard. What teacher, that's redundant? No, it's not redundant. The first thing that you need to do, travel ko kayo ha. The first thing that you need to do, attach the components. So what are we talking about the components? Anong components po yun, teacher? We're talking about here the CPU. Ayan na po. So in CPU class, when handling a CPU and motherboard, make sure that you place them on a grounded anti-static mat. So excuse me my place, no? Nasa wood lang siya, but it's okay. But if it's you, pag nilagay niyo po siya sa glass, yun talaga ang hindi pwede. But in woods, in rubber, pwede pa naman. Okay, so when you touch the CPU, ito po yung CPU. Hala, nanimiss ano po. Wait lang po. So you need to attach the CPU first in the motherboard. So class, keep in mind, the CPU is secured to the socket on the motherboard with locking assembly. Nakikita niyo po yung locking assembly. Ito po yun, no? So, dyan natin ilalagay si CPU. Kasi po, kailangan nasa lock option. Story time! So,
Nakikita
ayun na.
niyo?
Tapos sabihin nila,
Yes po, ma'am. Nakikita mo.
Makikita. Yay. Sige po. So, let me down muna yung CPU. And then, open muna natin yung nakalock. Diba? Ang hirap kasi naka-gloves ako. Hindi ko pa naman hawak yung CPU. Excuse me. Ayan. So, you need to open up the socket and then dyan nyo po i-insert yung inyong CPU. So, wait lang po. Meron lang yung teacher this ang aking gloves. And then there. So, make sure that you place your CPU correctly. Sugar is real yarn, so there. Next one, you need naman to next one is you need to align the heatsink onto CPU socket. So, ayan po. Saka nyo po ilalagay si heatsink. So, dapat naka-align po sa hose. And then, pag ready na po, or tapat naman na siya ng tama, you may now tighten the screw. So, excuse me, nagtanggal na si Teacher Des ng gloves because I have my anti-static wrist strap naman po. Kailangan nyo gumamit ng gloves especially kapag hinahawakan nyo po ang CPU. So, as you can see, wala si Teacher Des na nailagay na thermal, let's call this one, thermal paste, which is ayun po yung nilalagay po para hindi gaano mainit agad po yung ating CPU. There. Now that we're done tighten up the heatsink and the fan, next one is we need to put the video card. We wear my gloves again. And then let's insert the video card. Here is the, ikita niyo pa po ba? Or hindi na? So you're just going
Video
to
card po, hindi po nakikita.
and then automatic minsan nagla-lock yung lock niyan. Or at the same time, pwede mo din po siyang i-click. Okay? Now that you're done installing the components of the motherboard, you may now install the motherboard inside the case. So you may now get this one. This is here. Okay, so now that you're done, install the motherboard in the system unit. Okay, make sure that you make the holes in the motherboard in the case as well. Dapat magkakatapat po yung mga holes niyan para pag naglagay na kayo ng screw, swak lang at tama lang po yung so, yes. Let's tighten up. Sir Des, kaya today, kaya po, wait lang po. So now that we're done installing the motherboard, the case, align the in connectors at the back of the motherboard with the opening. So na natin siya. the motherboard screws and tighten all of the motherboard screws. Ika ka po?
Yes po, ma'am.
Sabi ko kanina sa reminder, in assemble and disassemble of the system unit, I need to take time. Parang ano lang yun eh, love life lang yun. Rule of waves, right? So same thing here in assembly and disassembly of the system. Kailangan nag-patiently wait ka lang. Kasi kapag nagkamali ka, wala ka nang gagamitin yung system unit. Hindi ka na makakapag-online class. So there. Now that we're done, attaching the components to the motherboard and installing the motherboard, the next step is install the internal drive. So what's the internal drive? So one of the most example of this one is the hard drive itself. I have here my hard drive. This one. So here's the hard drive. Ito yung magiging case ni hard drive at saka ni external. So we need to install this one. Oh my God, sorry. Disclaimer lang po, this one is not working. Possibly, sisira ko yung system unit. Okay, so, connect yarn. So, here po, so you need to get your screw na po ulit. So, make sure na mamimit niya yung hole para po sa pag-i-insert natin ng screw. Get my screw. So here's the hole. Medyo mahirap lang siya, pero ayun. So you're going to insert your screw and then tighten up. Sure, that's naman po kami nakikita. So here, ayan. So right after installing our internal drive, next thing that we're going to do is install it here na po sa case. There. So next one po is we're going to install the drives by external. So the optical drives, yung optical drive po dito natin is yung nilalagyan natin ng CD, DVDs for us to be able to save our files. So, here na po. Nalagyan na to ni Teacher Des. Gawa na hindi na po siya na-unmount sa case. Next thing po, right after the drives the external face. Next is connect all the internal cables. So, ito na po. Let me explain one by one kung ano naman po yung mga ganap ng mga cables na gamit ng ating power supply unit. So, yan. Install na natin. Now, we're going to put sa power na po using the power supply. So, first, let's have our data cables. Let's start with the data cables. What is our data cables? Data cables transmit data between the motherboard and storage devices such as hard drives. So what is the say na lang ni Teacher Desa, this connector is called main power connector. Nakita mo, main power connector which is consists ATX 20 pin to 24 pin. So siya yung nagbibigay ng power kay motherboard. So kung wala siya, hindi mag-work yung motherboard natin. So that's why that's the first connector that we're going to insert here. Ayan, mag-install ito pala. So there. So insert it. And then the next one, we have here the P4 connector. Excuse the ayan, P4 connector. Nakikita? So the P4 connector naman po, ang binibigyan niya ng power ay yung CPU. As you can see, nasan yung CPU kanina, di ba? Ito, nasa baba ng PC. So we're going to place here the P4 connector para mag-work si CPU. After ni 4, o si ATX4 pin, so ang binibigay ni power supply na power sa kanya is 12 volts only. Okay, but 12 volts lang po. And then the next one, bibigyan po natin ng power.
Yes po, ma'am.
We're going to insert here, this one is at connector. Baka nahihilo na kayo. So we're going to insert here. There. Ito naman natin yung harap ng camera. Pinag-install na tayo ng ating cables. So next, we're done giving power for our drive. How about in our internal? So which is the so we can only use the SATA connector. SATA din po yung ginagamit natin sa flexibility na for the power shower for our and at the same time, power lang ang ibibigay mo, teacher Des, paano naman po yung pag-receive ng mga data? That's why we have here, this connector is called this connector is called SATA. So, ito din itong gagamitin natin. So, ito natin sa motherboard and then followed by the our hard drive. So, isa din po kay internal. So,
Ma'am, excuse me po. Yung audio niyo daw po, ma'am, hindi na po kayo marinig.
electric pa na rin narinig.
Hangin.
Let's talk may kakamay ka. So here, So the last cable here is the SATA cable. So we're going to insert here in the internal drive, so which is the CD or DVD, and then insert here in our Okay, so now that we're done na po in assembly, our system unit, ang gagawin naman po natin ngayon ay mag-disassemble. Question so far in assembling the system unit. May question? Ayaw ko na magpakita sa camera kasi parang paka-pasted. Question about the assemble system unit. In assembling the system unit po. Wait,
Meron daw po isang question si Mr. Al-Rajib Akob. Tanong lang po, ano po yung pinaka-first step sa pag-open ng case? Need po ba hawak-hawakan yung case para sa grounded?
Yes, but that's why I asked you a while ago, you rub your hands like this one, and then touch the unpainted metal parts po ni system unit. Okay. How's yan? Okay na po. Let's proceed in disassemble of the system unit. So, vice versa lang siya kung ano yung huli mong ginawa sa pag-assemble, yun naman yung una mong gagawin sa pag-disassemble, which is pagtatanggalin natin ang cables kasi yun yung huli natin ginawa, right? So, let's proceed here in removing the cables of the power supply unit para magbigay ng power. Okay po, so let's start with the SATA cable here. Let's remove this one. So remove first the cable. This connect all the internal cables, so which is the cables of the power supply unit. So the main power, the Molex connector. Ito po kasi itong Molex connector, medyo ano na siya, hinahanap na siya sa museum kasi hindi na siya masyadong nagagamit na connector. So we have here SATA, Verge connector, P4 connector, nagbibigay ng power kay CPU. Okay. I forgot to show you the other cables that which is it can give the power. Ito po, binibigay niya ng power yung yung fan dito sa system unit. So you can insert here. So the power, yan po, ito yung other connectors. So right after disconnect all the internal cables, the next one is in disassembling the system unit, uninstall drives in external base. So this one, ang gagawin po natin, i-uninstall natin siya. So get your screw and then uninstall it. Kasi ito yung pangalawa sa huli na ginawa natin, right? So ito din yung pangalawang gagawin natin sa pag-disassemble. So remove muna natin siya and then i-remove na natin sila hard drive. And then see, turn on. So kakapalo pa po. Ayan. So there. So I'll paste it here. Now that you're done, uninstall the drivers of external base. Next is the internal drive. So, magkasama kasi sila dito. So, silang dalawa yun. Okay po? So, hindi ko na siya ni-remove dun sa bay niya. Kasama ko na silang dalawa. Okay po. Next is detach the components to the motherboards and uninstall motherboard. So, ano yung dinetach natin kanina? The heatsink and the fan, right? So, i-detach muna natin silang dalawa. And yung mga components na tatanggalin muna natin kay motherboard bago natin tanggalin yung buong motherboard. There, here's the heatsink and the fan. And then place it here sa gilid. And next is the CPU. So, reminder, kapag po hahawakan natin si CPU, kailangan talaga natin magpanggap at kailangan natin gamitin si gloves. So there, move the lock, then here. For example, gumagana to kaya kailangan natin ingatan. So here's the system, the CPU, then back it up again, and then take it beside here. Kung meron po kayong anti-static, much better. Okay? Kapag nag-disassemble and assemble po kayo. And then the next one is removing the video card. Now that you're done detaching the components of the motherboard, you may now remove the motherboard. You may now uninstall the motherboard. Gawin natin. So, yung mga screw kailangan natin ingatan kasi hindi siya pwedeng magkulang. So, dapat meron kayong lagayan, tapos may mga label. Huwag kayong papayag ng walang label. So, dapat may mga label para hindi maligaw. Okay? So, there. Teacher Des, kaya today? Kaya po, I only have here 2 screws. Meron pa akong dalawang itatanggal. So right after uninstalling the motherboard class, the last one is uninstall the power supply. I'm done removing the screw. So now I can now remove the motherboard here in the case and then place it to the side. And then the last part po na tatanggalin natin sa system unit ay ang power supply. Ang ating power supply. Again, dapat naka-set aside po yung screw para kay motherboard at yung screw para kila power supply, kay internal drive, para po hindi po mawala. Pwede kayong maggawa ng mga, kahit sa papel lang, tapos lagyan nyo lang siya ng label para hindi kayo malilito mamaya kapag nag-assemble ulit kayo. And then again, reminder, pag po may free time kayo, you can ask other people or kaya naman doon sa mga barangay, baka meron silang system unit na sira na, pwede nyo practicean. Para someday, marunong na kayo mag-assemble at disassemble ng system unit, next time, matututo na kayo alamin nyo na kung ano yung sira. For example, hindi nag-open si monitor. Anong problema? Baka kay AVG lang yan, sa connection mo lang yan. So, that's all. So, that's how you're going to disassemble your system unit. So, wala tayong case. So, wala tayong ibabalik. So, that's the last part that you're going to do in disassembling your system unit. So, question. Off lang si so, close the case. So, my conclusion here is, sige, papakita ko pa yung mukha ko. Sige na, okay na. So, the conclusion here is, going back to the basics strengthens your foundation. Okay po? So, that is one of the basic na matututunan nyo pagdating, lalo na first year pa lang po kayo, so balikan nyo yan lalo na kapag nagpunta kayo sa higher year. So, you need to go back to the basic para naman yung foundation niyo is strong. So, that's all and thank you.
Ayun, thank you, Ma'am Des. Thank you po. Sa evaluation form po for second topic is now, nasa comment section po sa may Facebook. And dito rin sa may chat box. Ayan, pwede i-click nyo na lang po yung link para makapag-fill up na po kayo ng form. And what else?
So I guess we can start the Q&A section. So if you have any question for Miss April and Miss I teacher desk, so you can put them in the chat box or in the Facebook page.
Pangungunahan ko na. Merong nagtanong kay sa first speaker natin, kay Ma'am April. Ma'am April. Miss April.
Yes po. Yes po. Yes po.
Meron kong nagtanong, one of our viewers po from Facebook, kung ano daw po yung pinakamadaling gamitin for coding a program para sa katulad naming mga beginner. Ano daw po yung masasuggest niyo po?
Ano yan, programming language, pinakamadaling programming language na gagamitin. I suggest you use C++, kasi ngayon, yun yung pinaka-basic eh. Tapos, kasi kapag, when it comes to programming language naman, actually, halos pare-pareho lang sila ng ginagamit. So, kung mag-input ka ng data sa C++, C in, parang sa C out na lang C out para sa C++. Tapos kapag ibang application, hindi ko matandaan if Python, parang printf yung nakalagay or C lang ata na ganun. So yun, I suggest C++. Pero kung gusto mo pa ng pinaka-basic HTML language, there is also a programming language na sobrang basic niya din kasi tags lang siya. Yan. Yan pa.
Thank you po, ma'am.
For our second speaker naman po, Teacher Des, are you there?
Hello, wait lang, off ko lang ulit yung yung electric fan kasi parang nilalaman ako ng electric fan sa ingay. Yes po, good afternoon again.
May question po, ma'am. Para saan po yung SATA or SATA cable?
SATA cable is used for giving power po kay drives po natin. For example, nandito pa yung drives po dito. Papakita ko ulit. So, si SATA. Ayan. This one po, si SATA cable, ang ginagawa niya po, nagbibigay siya ng power supply sa drives natin. Okay? Or in their devices inside the computer. Kita niyo. Di ba ganun sa vlog? So here's the, kunyari makeup siya. So pero cable siya. So here's the SATA cable. SATA cable is one of the cable in power supply that will give and provide power for all our drivers here in our system unit. So kung ano yung mga drives natin sa system unit, si SATA ang magbibigay ng power sa kanya. Power! So yun po. Ayan. Sorry. Ang ligalig ko. Thank you.
So meron pa pong isang question for Teacher Des. So, pwede daw po bang matest ang power supply kung gumagana po ito without installing to the motherboard?
Very good. That's a good question, class. Did you know that you can test the power supply unit by using your paper, what do you call this one? Paper clip. Ayan, pwede kayo mag-improvise ng paper clip. Tapos, kaso kailangan nyo din ng kailangan nyo pa rin siya i-plug. Pero ang i-connect nyo lang sa kanila is yung green. Ay, ito-check ko pa din. Green and black na, di ba nakikita niya kukunin nyo si main power connector. Ito po yung nilalagay natin kay motherboard, tama? So this one, so yan, saray, vlogger yarn. So here, ito. So you're going to look for the green and then you can improvise a paper clip. Tanggalin nyo lang yung rubber sa dalawang dulo. For example, this one is our paper clip, right? Di ba yung paper clip, lang po yun, yung pwede natin i-insert. So i-insert nyo siya kay black and green. Tapos i-plug ninyo. So here, receptacle, plug receptacle. So kukunin nyo yung, what do you call this one? Yung connector. So pwede nyo siyang isaksak kapag gumana or umikot si fan, ibig sabihin, power supply is working.
Lalagay natin yung
Yay!
motherboard,
Thank you
tama?
sa question. Ang galing ng question. Very good. Bigyan kita ng painting ko. Sino nagtanong nun? Sige,
Mr.
kaya ano na lang,
Albert.
tatanong ko na lang sa kanila. Sa ano. Pero I'll give you a prize for that kind of question. Thank you!
Meron pa pong isang question si Miss Rosalie Malapot.
Wala na yung prize ha, joke. Ano po yung question?
Ano po kung
Joke lang.
malakas yung tunog ng desktop pag bagong bukas? Ano pong posibleng problema nun?
Hala, nagde-debugging na ba tayo dito? Hala ko sa several na. Hindi ako nag-prepare. Charot. Kapag
Ano po?
malakas yung tunog, no?
Desktop pag bagong bukas daw po.
Ay,
Ng bagong
kailangan na bumili
assemble.
ng bago, feeling ko. Charot. I'll check it. You Google it, Charot. I think I need to Google it. Sorry. Siguro dahil sa fan or kaya naman meron ka lang kailangan i-tighten dun sa ano mo, sa system unit mo. Kasi minsan, especially no, pag yung system unit natin, nadadaan-daanan or kaya naman, what do you call this one? Natatamaan, possible kasi na nagagalaw yung mga screws niyan, lumuluwag, or kaya maraming reason, sabi nga ni teacher sa chat box. So, kaya kapag natuto na alam niyo kung paano mag-assemble, tapos alam niyo na kung paano niyo alamin kung anong problema nung computer, pero so, kailangan niyo masterin.
Thank you.
Ayun, may next question po. Di ba ma'am, ang technique sa assemble and disassemble, kung alin yung unang tinanggal, yun ang huling ibabalik? By Gian is signing.
Again po, what is the question? I'm sorry.
From our chat box ma'am here on Gmeet po, di ba ma'am, ang technique sa assemble and disassemble, kung alin yung unang tinanggal, yun din yung huling ibabalik.
Mm-hmm. Yes po, possible yun. Dapat ipa-follow pa din natin yung steps natin kasi mas malilesen yung pagkakamali. Tsaka kasi pag hindi mo pinalo yung step, mas prone ka sa ano eh, sa accident or kaya naman mas prone ka sa magkamali. So you need to follow the steps para yung outcome maganda.
So,
Yes po.
meron pong isang question, probably para po sa inyong dalawa. Alin po kay Mr. John Paul Millaflores. Hi ma'am, do you have any advice for those who want to pursue tech-related career?
Sige, I think Jewel. Jewel, you go first.
Kasi, suki ka kasi, no? Joke lang. For me, advice, continue to study. Lagi. Lalo na kapag technology. Kasi every month, every day, nagpapalit, may mga innovations. So, kailangan talaga, alam mo yung trend palagi. Kasi everyday nag-update. Di ba yung mismong Facebook nga natin, messenger application or any application, laging may mga version, iba't ibang update. So, ayun. Kung papasok kayo sa industry ng technology, kahit makagraduate kayo makatapos kayo ng 4 years course sa bachelor's, hindi to natatapos. You continue to, attend seminars, trainings, pursue masters, doctorals. So, ayun po. Lifelong. Yeah, tama si Sir Arnold. Kapag nasa technology ka, lifelong learning siya. Hindi siya nag-i-stop. Hindi siya nag-i-stop kapag nakatapos ka na ng, tawag dito, nakapagtawag ka na and all. Yun lang. Yun yung ma-advise ko. Tuloy-tuloy na pag-aaral lang.
So, meron pong isa pa pong question for Miss Eve. Ano daw po ang pinagkaiba ng coding sa programming?
Again, coding and programming, the difference between coding and programming. Kapag kasi nagpo-program tayo, we are trying to, find a solution for our particular problem. Kapag ng sinabi ko kanina, meron tayong problema, hanapin natin ng solusyon, gagawan natin ng solusyon. Gumagawa tayo ng applications para magkaroon siya ng solusyon. Kapag coding, yun yung way kung paano natin nilalagay yung codes or yung mga tawag ito, codes, what do you call it? Yun yung nilalagay natin codes. Yun nga, pag sinabing coding, sorry. Pag sinabing coding, yun yung codes na nilalagay natin. Kaya kayo nakakabuo ng application o ng program namin. Ayun po.
I guess, wala na atang ako nakikitang ibang tanong. Ayun. Thank you, guys. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ma'am April and Teacher Des. Thank you sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin sa FB and na nag-join dito sa ating Google Meet.
Special thanks nga din po sa buong lahat ng klase namin. So, buong classmate, naging possible po itong webinar namin. And syempre sa TUP Cavite, for letting us use their page for live streaming. And special acknowledgement po sa mga klase po namin by group na inassign po namin para sa kanya-kanya po nilang tasks. So, without you guys, hindi po namin matatapos itong webinar na to. Thank you very much.
At bilang pasasalamat po kay Ma'am April and Teacher Les, here are e-certificate, the Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate is hereby awarded to April Jewel Adinor Pascual for having served as the resource speaker in the webinar organized by the Technical University of the Philippines, Cavite, BETCO at 18, entitled Current Trends and Issues on the Computer and Information Technology, with the topic Computer 101 Basic Introduction to Programming, held on February 10, 2022 via Google Meet. Ito po ay may signature ni Sir Arnold Vega at ang aming class president na si Axel Aaron Turla.
This is the second sa Iman for having served as the resource speaker in the webinar organized by the Technological University of the Philippines, Cavite, BETCO at 18, entitled Current Trends and Issues on Computer Information Technology, with the topic Computer 101 Basics, Computer Hardware and Assembly and Disassembly, held on February 10, 2022 by Google. Thank you very much po.
Ayun. Maraming salamat po sa lahat. Sir Arnold, baka may last message po kayo before this webinar ends po.
Thank you po, sir. Thank you po din, Ma'am Teacher Des and Ma'am April. So
Thank you so much.
That concludes our webinar for. Thank you very much po. To all the viewers po from Facebook page and those who joined Google Meet, thank you very much din po sa participate po sa both topics. Thank you very much po.
And dito na po namin tinatapos ang aming simpleng webinar po. Again, guys, thank you.
Bye po guys. Thank you po.